you should be getting like 1080p,
Yes, but I
right?
want something other than 1080p. There we go. If I don't,
Yes.
if I don't get something other than 1080p, tons of people who normally show up can't even watch a show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not necessarily the high
It's the
quality;
low
it's the
quality.
low
Yeah,
quality options
high
you want.
quality, but the high
Yeah.
quality ingestion server does all the qualities. That's the point. And the low quality
Mm,
one is just one that just does 1080p. And while the
my
1080p one's
mistake.
fine for certain things, I'll just like whatever. But for like this, people actually show up to this, so it's like, it's incumbent on me to help it. I know everyone's hearing us rant out this, but it's incumbent on me to help those with lower quality streaming equipment or watching equipment to be able to watch. Hmm. All right, we're in business. I'm gonna go make my tweets now. Christ.
People hear me. Hold on.
Yes, they can hear you. To live and die in LA poster.
Can they really hear me? Hold on.
Holy fuck! Yes. Please
Yes,
don't
they
go
can
like
hear
that.
me.
Jesus.
I couldn't hear myself at first because you were low on my end, so
Okay. Let's see here.
your stream
Couch.
is low on my end.
I understand. Tomatoes movie chat with our spotlight. Oops, I'm also in my pajamas still. On to live and die in
In
L.A.
pajamas.
1985. Well, I mean, it's not like I checked it. I'm like, oh no, they're not. They're not. These aren't torn, so like my titties won't drop out in midstream or anything.
Eh.
I had the opening music from Live and Die in L.A. stuck in my head.
So yeah, if you see me randomly slapping my face, it's probably because there's a fucking fruit fly
So it has
on
nothing to do with why you hate yourself. Got it. All right.
my.
It might.
But it'll be, random hilarity. Like, why are you slapping yourself?
Why are you lapping yourself?
I said slapping.
All it came through with the other one. That was funny. Spotlight to live and die in L.A.
You live and die.
To live and die in L.A. Do. Couch, tomatoes, movie, chat with at Stout. To live and die in L.A. Tweet. All right, tweeted. Now I gotta do yo on my Discord. Yo. At everyone. Happening now. It's like my own Discord. I wish you'd stop asking if I'm sure I want to tag everybody. Yes, I know what I'm doing.
Sure?
Are you sure? You know it's bullshit. All right, let me all right, take off the screen. Hi everybody, we're here. This gentleman just brushed his hair in front of me majestically for like 10 minutes. To live and die in LA. My favorite piece of trivia is that William Friedkin wanted nothing to do with the with having a theme song. We'll talk about that more, I guess. Get ahead of myself as usual. That's what I do. Gonna give him a minute or two. We can just talk loosely. I just watched Space Sweepers with my friend. It was my second time watching it all the way through. Third time, there's a time between when we watched it and me and my friend watched it today, and I watched like half the movie in English because we watched it in Korean. And so
Space Sweepers, is that what you said?
Yeah, 2021. Yeah, Bubs the Train's robot.
I've never heard of
You fucking watched that with me, dude.
Space Sweeper.
Oh my god. 99% sure you watched this with me, dude.
I've never seen this movie.
Well, I guess who did I watch it with? Oh, I watched it with
I
Alex. I watched it with the other tall guy with a beard in my life. So sorry, I got you confused.
Confusing the bearded gentleman.
Okay, so now we have to watch Space Sweepers because we should do a talk on the show about it because I love Space Sweepers. Bubs is a trans character that is amazing. So like,
That's right. Okay.
So
So
good.
you said Space Sweepers, right?
Yes.
And what came to my mind for whatever fucking reason, well, I know what it was because I saw it recently
Yeah.
on YouTube, was Space Truckers.
That's actually. Have you watched the movie?
A long ass time,
It's on
but
my
like
it's on my Justin list to watch with you actually because it's on
it's
Amazon Prime
on
right now.
YouTube,
It's on Prime.
free with it's okay. That's nice, but it's also free with ads on YouTube right now.
Yes, it's also
So I
on
was like,
Prime
oh
if you
my
have Prime.
god, nice.
And we're gonna watch it. I was gonna probably watch it this weekend because I started. It's like on the list. It's like it's like a 100 movie list, but like these are all movies that I'm like, oh, I really want to watch that with you,
I
or
remember thinking
or
that it
movies that are on
was
HBO or Showtime that I don't have access without you.
ridiculous but fun. That's what I
Oh,
remember thinking.
it's Toby Hooper film, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna
The
go look.
last time I saw it was the late '90s. I don't fucking
I
remember.
saw it probably in the early 2000s. Justin watch list. Space Truckers. That's not how the theme song goes, but just thinking about Space Truckers. Where is it? PQR. There it is. One of the few things I watched on this list. You know what else they have? There's also Santa with muscles. So be prepared. It's Stuart Gordon, not Toby Hooper. The other.
That's on my list of Christmas movies to watch for free.
Oh, I love that movie. It's so ridiculous.
It's in the Christmas classics section. I won't apologize.
No, you shouldn't. It's genuinely an hour classic film. It's like so fucking funny. And you don't think, oh, it's Hulk Hogan. Like, no, it's really fucking funny. Hulk Hogan is like perfectly cast as a big, dumb, klutzy Santa Claus, essentially.
There's a lot of great free Christmas movies this year. Like
We'll be watching a couple of them at least.
they got Jack Frost 2,
We should watch Jack Frost 2.
Die Hard 2.
Well, we have to watch.
Bad Santa 2.
We've already watched Jack Frost. We have to do 2 now.
They got rare exports for free with ads.
I had that on Blu-ray from
That's fucking awesome.
Finland, Netherlands. I don't know. Some one of those. No. I got the Blu-ray from one of those countries.
Well,
Vezius sent it to me like long ass time ago. Because I have a region free player, so.
Oh, it's through a specialty label in the United States. I can't remember who it is, though.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Probably just Amazon search it real quick. Find out exactly who released it.
Yes. Rare exports.
Alright, I'm going to hit this bowl. And then after I'm done my coughing fit, we'll actually start talking about the movie. But I have to get through the coughing fit. And I have to be high to do this, so. Pardon-moi, chat. We're just going to chill here for a few minutes. We will get to the talking about the movie.
Pardonnez-moi.
Pardon-moi?
Oh, it's oscilloscope. That's right.
Their movies are
titles that you want to get through oscilloscope.
Their titles are generally overpriced, in my opinion, and lacking special features.
Very. Yes, very.
But they have such good
I
movies. It's like,
I can never warrant getting anything through oscilloscope because it's like I always only ever want like one or two things,
and then I only want
to
like
get
one
the
thing.
Good price, you have to get like 3 or 4 things.
Yeah,
it's like
I only ever want like 1 or 2 things myself. It's kind of annoying. I've never bought from them because of it. Oscilloscope's owned by Elijah Wood, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Go Wikipedia.
Ooh, oscilloscope.
I mean, you can look probably Wikipedia oscilloscope and go to the
Dan
different
Berger.
I don't know who the fuck Dan Berger is.
Me either.
Well, look him up.
Why is this my joke?
Because I'm smoking.
Founder Adam Yauch, or Yauch,
Yoke, maybe? Y-O-C-H?
Yauch.
Youch? I guess it's... Or Yauk.
Jacques. Joke.
Maybe it's Jacques. Wow, that'd be an interesting way of spelling Jacques, actually.
Jacques. It's actually Jacques. Okay.
Wow.
I got it correct, okay? After actually looking...
That sounds like a fake name. I feel bad. I don't mean to mock.
Under the stage name MCA, was an American rapper, bass player, filmmaker, and a founding member of the hip hop group the Beastie
Wait, that
Boys.
guy's the guy who owns
That guy is one of the founders of
Oh my
Oscilloscope.
god,
Isn't
amazing!
that crazy?
That is really cool,
Holy
actually.
shit.
What a nice piece of trivia for the day.
Yeah. And I'm especially glad that I took the time to actually learn how to pronounce his name correctly.
Which is what again?
Assuming.
How do you say it again?
Yaush.
Yaush. Yaush.
Sadly, apparently he passed away.
Yeah, I think 2/3 of the Beast Boys are dead now, right?
Shortly afterwards, Fenkel, who was one of the other founders, David Fenkel, left the company in order to co-found A24.
Well, that explains it. Damn.
Just so many great names attached to oscilloscopes.
Yeah,
so.
the oscilloscope's great. A24 is great.
So headed by Dan Berger. Now I gotta find out who Dan Berger is.
I don't know who the fuck that guy is.
There's no Wikipedia on him. So.
He's not that important, in other words. No, I'm kidding. He's just not pop culturally relevant. Eventually, someone will, if he's actually done like good things in the history of film, he'll get a page eventually. I don't know. Generally, how it works. I guess running a company's not enough for him for some reason.
There are so many different Dan Bergers. Berger.
Type in oscilloscope with it, and then you'll find like an article, maybe an interview with him, and like they'll ask him how it found. You know what I mean? Like, how'd you get involved? Oh well, I was a director in film school. With he's like, I'm sorry, I'm acting like I'm giving a soliloquy, but you get the point. I doubt he talks like that. But it'd be funny if he did. Like, holy shit,
Daniel Berger, President Boss. Dan Berger is not sure how he found himself here, but he's proved to be a fair and competent leader. That is the extent of information about Dan
That's also
Berger.
That is the epitome of upward mobility in Hollywood. I don't know how I got here, but I'm doing okay. I'm still doing good, apparently. Yeah. You like read every biography of every studio head, and they're like, I don't know how I got here, but I'm doing okay.
How did I get here?
I mean, unless they're like MGM or the guy who did like some of the other like smaller studios, but like United Artists, the guy who runs on United Artists, are like, how did I get here? I don't know. Last I remembered, I was a fucking mail boy or something. Like, that shit happens.
We're not even here to talk about oscilloscope or any of the other things we've talked about.
But we're just having a nice chat about things, right?
Yeah.
Before we talk about our main focus, which is to live and die in LA.
Yes.
Which is not the segue I want it to be, because I'm still smoking. But,
Oh, my goodness.
I gotta pull up the trivia on my phone, too. I would normally be ready, but I literally went from hanging out with my friend Emmy to coming here. So, like,
let me check, because I think you're right. Elijah Woods does own or have part of the stock in
he's a producer there, company. Maybe he might be somewhere, right? One of those. He's like a producer or something, right? Like, I don't know specifically. I'm gonna go look up Elijah Wood. He'll probably tell me. Uh-oh, I'm being messaged. Elijah Wood. Vector Vision. Spectre Vision. Yes. Not Vector Vision. Spectre Vision.
Spectre Vision, yeah. I believe it's so interesting to see where all these actors have ended up and people just related to Hollywood because like, if I recall correctly, who is it I'm thinking of? Hold on. It's like, when you have a thought and then it just fucking skips your mind.
Only every day of my fucking life. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but like, I literally have memory issues, so yes.
Yeah, me too. Matthew Lillard, I believe, owns part of a a tabletop RPG company,
That's
and he's
awesome.
really into that stuff.
Oh, I know he's into it. That's
Um,
cool. Uh, uh, like as an actor, I would. That's what my
yeah.
goal would be on during this pandemic, in between projects, to like do a live play D&D game, so I could like keep acting in between roles. Like that's, if you really love acting, that seems like the way to go. Those Critical Role guys. So there's two. I have a thing to say about them. They're and nothing negative. Just the way they have disrupted casual D&D play and alienated people with their high quality. I know it's a really weird thing to say. People seem to think that like every D&D game you should dress up and you should use a voice
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm like, no, this is just a fucking game full of actors, okay? Like there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it. It's just that, and it's high production quality because there's a fucking company that makes $1 million to $5 million a year, or whatever it can afford to supply clothes and paychecks to people. All right.
Yeah, this is the played up version of it. This is the
Yes.
extremely highly fucking,
Highly
you
produced
know,
version of D&D.
yeah.
And once again, there's nothing wrong with it. I actually really like watching it.
It's
But
cool. It's just
it has
don't expect that from
fucked with
every
people's
fucking D&D
it has
game.
fucked with people's expectations of what D&D should be. And some people irreparably because they can't join a game that isn't like in their idea of what a D&D game is. And it's like and this happens in a lot of arenas.
It's like, well, the thing that you need to bring with you to every D&D game, to every tabletop role playing game, like it's a requirement to have for every single one, is an imagination. You don't need the little fucking guys that you paint up and everything, and all the fucking the figures and the really nice castles and the game
I
boards
mean,
and all
I had
that
all
shit.
that,
You
but
don't need that.
it took me
You
years
need
to acquire that stuff.
imagination,
Right.
and you need dice.
My first game, and most people's first games are your friends sitting around the table making really stupid inside jokes that only you will fucking laugh at, playing with fucking dice as characters. You need goblins. I've got a whole bag of goblins right here. I don't need a single token. I don't need a single character. Do I want those things? Yes. Do I get those things
Yeah.
when I can? Yes. And slowly my game gets very fancy. Like when I was working at a game store, owned my own game store, and actively running games all the time because it sells miniatures, it sells editions, it sells dice, it sells product. So it's like I'm having fun, but I'm also promoting all this shit to somebody who hasn't done this before. Because people just walk on the street. Oh, wow, I'd love to play this. Well, sit down. Here's a character. I have characters pre-rendered. I have like 50 characters ready to go. Just pulling out random. Here you go. Here's your character. You don't have to come up with a name if you don't want to. You can use the written name if you want to. It's randomized, so sometimes it's gibberish. Yagibeth? Yeah, Yagibeth, I guess. That's the name. That's, yeah.
Sorry, I was swatting away a fruit fly.
But yeah, D&D, oftentimes it's just a bunch of people sitting around making jokes and half playing and just having fun. There's no wrong way to run D&D. There's no wrong way to play D&D. As long as you are having fun, you are successfully playing D&D. You don't have to follow any rules. You don't have, as long as everyone agrees that it doesn't matter about the rules. You do what the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. You just gotta have fun. You and your friends agree to have fun. Sometimes with rules, sometimes bending the rules, sometimes the rules are just kind of there when you need them. Those are my favorite games. The rules are there when you need them. When you played my game, that's the kind of games I run. Rules are there when you need them. Otherwise, if you roleplay it out and you roleplay it out good, sometimes it just lets you do it. You don't need to roll for it, you know? I need to mute my phone. Do not disturb.
Oh.
Every fourth Thursday at 4:30 p.m. That might be problematic.
I just had an energy drink, so
I
I'm like wired.
will send it to you after this stream. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud, but I'm someone's like inviting me to their D&D game. Like, yes, I appreciate all this. Yeah, I kind of need to. I will look all this up when I'm done. I apologize. Big love. Oh, Jesus. All right. Shall we talk about
Yes.
to live and die in LA after I get the trivia open on my phone because I forgot. Shut up. Do I have the IMDb app? Is that a thing? Okay, maybe that'll wait. I don't know.
I do.
Skip rating. Fuck out of here. No, I don't want to sign in. No.
Yeah, that's the thing I hate about the IMDb app is you open it up and it's like sign in. It's like I don't have to sign in though. It's just IMDb. Just let me access the site.
Dear phone, when I type LIV, I don't mean live the name. Delete that suggestion. Yes, live the word. Thank you. And no, I don't mean capital and. I mean and. Thank you. Die. My phone is new, so newish. I updated it, and when I updated it, it reset the dictionary and all the fucking text memory, so it doesn't remember any of the way I type anymore. So it's like, just function.
My phone is very old.
It's about
I've had it for like 5 years.
My phone is about almost 2 years old now. It's a Pixel 2, I think.
I think mine is officially getting to the point where I need to get a new one just because of how outdated it is, because, you know, everything is starting to run slow. But
yeah, it's one of that's I'm having apps crash and things like that. Yeah.
I have a S7, I think it is. A Samsung S7. What are they on, like S25,000?
I'm using this program called Chatterino, and it allows me to have the chat open. Hope this works. It probably should be working, but I have like 5 chats open, and so whenever someone goes live, I just immediately show the little red dot. Anyway,
are you kidding me? They have a Galaxy S21 now. I have an S7.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you're a beautiful man.
Wow. Incredible.
Can the coughing be over with? All right. All right.
That's how millennial I am, okay? So millennial.
Do I have subtitles for this?
I don't care that much for my cell phone.
I do have subtitles for this. Good, we can at least see what's going on. All right. Shall we start? Okay, are you ready to start the episode itself now that we've been streaming for like 25 minutes? 22, close enough.
I think it's an interesting lead in though.
No, yeah, it's nice real casual talk. It's how we do our show usually, you know.
So yeah, to live and die in LA.
Before that, most podcasts I watch that do live streams, they fuck around for like half an hour before they start doing the actual recording. So gets everyone loose. You know, lots of people show up. Anyway, sorry, you were saying. Let's go.
To Live and Die in LA is a movie.
It's a 1985 William Friedkin film based on a book.
About a variety of subjects related to the film, and you know why it's a Christmas movie.
Oh my god, it's one scene, but yeah, I mean I've agreed, but it's one scene. So I'm just running the movie now to see where we're at. Oh, why is that in German? What the fuck? I chose the...
Hello.
Bro, it says English in the description of the subtitle I choose. Why is it in German? That's hilarious.
This is the movie starting out, right?
Yeah.
December 20th.
Okay, fine, but... Oh, the first subtitle showed up and then I changed the subtitle.
But where's the Christmas tree?
It's LA, so there's no Christmas trees except indoors usually.
There actually is a Christmas tree in LA.
Of course, but fuck, nobody goes to it. You know who goes to it? Tourists. Oh shit, I gotta take my meds. Making a mess. All right.
I think like the main one they have in Beverly Hills or whatever is it's just literally a bunch of fucking lights. It's not actually a tree. It's just lights in the shape of a tree.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's exactly what it is. That's our Christmas tree. That's LA for you. I love
Merry
Los
Christmas.
Angeles,
Here's
by
some
the way.
lights.
Beverly Hills is next door to Hollywood, which is in the same general area as LA, but they're not actually the same city. They're in the greater Los Angeles area, but they're not part of LA. This opening music, like I shouldn't say this, the opening music for this movie, which is almost the whole soundtrack is done by Wang Chung. And the opening music is a theme song called "To Live and Die in L.A." And Friedkin originally told them not to make a theme song called "To Live and Die in L.A." And like those beautiful artists they did, they went fuck it, fuck you, we know what's best, and they did it themselves. Um, and then God, that's probably I'd imagine the flyover is the stock footage. Like it's sped up for some reason too. I never figured that out.
It's definitely sped up.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the scenes that I felt like wasn't very good, but it's like it's hard to. It's not a big deal, It's like
yeah,
it's sped up. It's kind of shaky, but it would have been shaky during that time. We get so fucking. We have drones now, right? So you get drone footage, and you think
it's so steady now. Yeah, it's way different.
Yeah, this is the standard by which to judge all films.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Well, that's why I like as much I respect.
I love hallway shots.
I know. I love I love and respect. Oh, that's amazing hallway. Also, hold the fuck on. Let me get back up. That's why we're doing it like this. Who's in that reflection? Is that the camera crew? Oh my God!
So,
you know what that is? That is a tripod wearing pants. So it looks like someone's standing. I guarantee you that's tripod with pants on it. That's not an uncommon thing to do. Just put his legs to the pants, you spread it out, and that looks like someone stands their legs spread. Look! Someone's standing their legs spread. Like, eh. Anyway, what was I saying before I got distracted by the fucking mirror? I was saying something pertinent, and now I've lost it because my brain is trash.
Well, I don't know either.
Well, aren't you the great, perfect co-host for this show?
Exactly.
Yeah, so like the opening is like it's like they're doing surveillance and stuff, and if I remember correctly, it's after the scene was when the counterfeiting sequence happens, right? So they show a little bit of the counterfeiting during the. They show a little bit of the counterfeiting and stuff, and they like in like the intro, the very like, intro, like
this is like pre-intro.
Yeah, this is the pre-intro, exactly. So it's like, there's some really cool whole shots on here. I don't know where they were filmed specifically.
Talking about how, like the Secret Service is members of the Secret Service also have like day jobs as cops.
Well, no, the Secret Service does more than just protect the president. They do counterfeiting. Yeah. They specifically chase after counterfeiters and those kind of crimes, dealing with that, like money and stuff like that. There's the whole point of this movie was to show that they do more than do that. But the thing is, like, it's based off a book, but only like 20% of that book. So, oh, look at that shot! There's a incredible shot with them standing against the background of LA, and it's just like, it's beautiful. More stars on the ground than ever in the sky. Like, oh, it's beautiful. It's good shit. And like, a
little bit of racism here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the suicide bomb thing, which is not something that would probably be done today, to be fair. Not like this, anyway.
Yeah. It was a different time.
It was. It's 1985. To be very specific. It was over 20. It was 35 years ago. Holy crap. 35 years ago, bro. 35 years ago. I'm so old.
Then the man explodes.
I don't want to be old. This is terrible. But yeah, it's like... there's like a really touching moment between these characters, and it's just like...
Yes,
it's like the Danny Glover character from Lethal Weapon. I'm getting too old for this shit line shows up. Yeah.
Yep, it's right there, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's literally 2 days from retirement. They don't say 2 days from retirement, but they essentially let you know that, like, 2 days from now, he is going to retire.
Right?
That's the message that gets across. So, of course,
It's literally that
as
trope.
we see in so many other, yeah, in so many other cop movies about cops, after this, it becomes a fucking trope. It's probably a trope before this.
Oh, it most certainly was a trope before this, 1,000%. I think it was a running trope at this point. Probably a lot there's a big cop film boom from like The French Connection and all those movies in the early
Yeah.
70s.
French Connection also.
The Wang Chung song is now happening during the opening credits. But my favorite part of the opening credits is this lime green, disgusting, foggy lettering. It's beautiful. It's red. It's like red and green, which is like, first of all, Christmas movie. Second of all, another evidence that's a Christmas movie. Second of all, it's a very LA combo of colors. It's gaudy and hard to look at.
Especially in the 80s, yeah.
And combined is what makes them hard to look at. It's the green in this case. The way they're just vibrant. They don't make titles like this at all. Like this is like I wish they made titles this cool. Like
money, big piles of money that look vaguely.
Yeah, it's showing. What I'm gathering is like the opening credits is like showing the chain of like custody of like bills across the country or city from like the bootlegger. Plus, when you get a bunch of like cash like this, and you beat it up in the washing machine and all that stuff, right? You give the money away. You just give that money away, or you buy things privately, and then that money gets disseminated elsewhere, and then like it's harder to track. You don't just go to the store and spend it because the camera will catch you.
Didn't you say that some of the money that they made in this movie, that they like created in this movie, ended up in circulation? Didn't you?
Yeah. Well, what happened was they actually like during the opening sequence when they're showing the bills being made, they're actually making counterfeit money good enough to pass visual inspection. So the reason that the only way you can tell it's counterfeit is because it's got the distribution letter of X, which is not a actual distribution center, or like because they are like A, B, C, D. X is not one of those. So they put X on the bills, and even years after the movie, they were finding currency from this specific thing, because even though they burned all the money, they filmed them. They like burned all the money specifically in that burning scene, like because they didn't want it to go circulate, and it still circulated. And like apparently later on, like a decade later, a Secret Service agent sat down with Friedkin like for lunch or whatever, and it was talking about how they were still finding bills from that production.
I didn't even think about how this relates to the end of the movie in some ways.
The destruction of the art.
I didn't even. It's not just the destruction of the art though. I believe that piece of art is like a self-portrait.
Yes. So but he destroyed the self-portrait, and then the art, and then he destroys his art, his finest art, the money at the at the end. I mean, spoiler. I'm sure you should have seen it before you get here.
I don't want to give anything away, but
we're not watching. We're not watching
at the end as well.
Well, we can give whatever we want away because this is a spotlight episode. We're talking in depth about the movie, so
yeah,
you shouldn't be watching this if you haven't seen the movie. This opening sequence is it's so silly. They call it base jumping, but it's just one of them wires that slows you down, or the stunt jump wires that slow down when you jump off. Like base jumping generally done with a parachute off a high building or high cliff or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But like, yeah, they earnestly call it. They have all this accuracy of the counterfeit, but they fuck up base jumping. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know how that even works, because I look at that and I think to myself, like, if you were just attached by a wire like that and you were free falling, I would think that like your knee would dislocate from the rest of your leg.
Oh, because the way it is, it's on a speed. See, yeah, we have to talk about it. It's on this like automated spool, and it like I'm gonna actually jump ahead here, and like as you descend, you have already measured how far it goes down safely, and as it gets close to the stop point, it slows down So you're good. So it's not a end jerk dislocation. It's a woo, which is why he slows down before he hits the water, because it's literally the mechanical operations like, hey, well, slowing him down. It's used for stunts, for jumping stunts.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, I don't think it was ever used in base jumping.
Movie
I could be
magic.
wrong. It could have been used in base jumping for all I fucking know. But as far as I understand, base jumping was jumping off things, high things, and using your parachute to safely float to the ground.
The passing down of the retirement gift is happening. We're seeing on screen right now.
Yeah, it's just
Which
further.
I believe is another part of the trope. Like,
yes.
Doesn't that happen in other movies?
Yeah, and it's because they want you to care about the character.
Of course. Of course.
Because you know what happens other than them if you don't have plot armor and you have 2 days of retirement, you're dead. You've got a death curse in these movies.
The reality about this type of character and the trope
it's equivalent to
that
sorry.
They're typically in the movie for like just a very short amount of time, right? And so they only have so much time to make you care about the character.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one of my favorite parts of Last Action Hero, though.
Yes, that's precisely. It's mocking. We gotta do it. We should do a spotlight episode on that at some point, because that is literally it's a spoof. It's a spoof.
It's a loving homage to
it's
people
so
who
good.
love movies. It's so great.
It's genuinely one of the best like action films. On top of it just being a good spoof of action films, like it uses all the tropes, but it also does them really well and funny, and it's all interesting and new at the same time as being old and very, very relatable.
You know,
but like
I
the thing is,
that they would never show this scene, this type of scene in a movie nowadays, because like it's literally accurately depicting.
Yeah, it's showing you how to. Yeah. Now, what they're doing wrong in this is this person's only gonna make 4 bills at a time, and what they usually make is a big sheet at like 100 bills or something, 50 bills, whatever it is. I don't know. A large sheet, several inches wide, several feet long. You know.
But all the other things that they're doing here.
Yes, how they're doing it is a way to make currency illegally. Essentially. So yeah,
like you would think they wouldn't get away with showing that in film today.
And the thing isn't. Well, he didn't ask anybody. I'm gonna jump ahead.
Right.
Friedkin didn't ask permission. He just said he wanted realism, and then he did realism, and that's what we get. But this whole sequence, it's like 5-7 minutes long, of Willem Dafoe making the art, making the bills with the same kind of care and delicacy as his actual art. Which is why it shows it like this. It shows every step of the way. It's like he's like creating a baby, which is, I guess, kind of insensitive to people who have created babies on this planet. But I mean, it's like he's creating something he genuinely loves. This piece of art, and for him, the art is that people can't tell it's fake. That's the artistry. That's the part that appeals to him. Is that. Not that he's deceiving people, it's that people just don't know that's art and not real. God.
Yeah.
Jesus. How many 2 gig files is this downloading? Sorry.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
You're talking about something unrelated to the movie.
Sorry. I'm downloading stuff in the background. Legally, 100%. It's just large files. It's a very accurate representation of the essential way to make currency. Yeah,
I do like that they're kind of portraying the character and like his motivations and what he's an artist at heart, but he uses what he knows about being an artist to also do this thing, making a lot of money.
This specific shot is really interesting. The color balance things. The left side has the purple chemicals. The right side is purple shirt, but it's not a purple shirt. It's actually the light from the fucking chemicals, because the light's slightly purple. And his shirt's not as purple as it appears. I think that's the really nice little thing. It's like... It's good. I mean, that's the thing about this movie is the cinematography is amazing. It's really good cinematography. See, it's actually a brown shirt when you look at it. And see, now there's no purple light on him, because it's not the same angle. It's not.
Yeah, I love that cutting process, because it's like, okay, that didn't cut right.
No, those were a bunch. Like he cuts them, and like the whole stack just cuts unevenly.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's like a little thing that you were supposed to put on the money to keep it from moving when you cut it down. But I mean, and then like poker chips he puts poker chips in. Also, this is not the place that I keep on calling him Jordan Peterson. William Peterson ends up going to in just a few scenes from now, which I'm gonna skip ahead to, because look,
I think you just skipped.
Going back. When you look in here, this is his house. Then you look out here. Right. This is a completely different location with a bag full of money.
I think you're right.
Think this is a different location.
They show later in the later scene. They show the laundry machine in there though.
It's the same laundry machine. I know, right?
Location, but it's the same laundry machine.
Yes, because the laundry machine's just in the middle of the floor. I think it's actually showing him doing it in two different locations. It's implying that he does it here to distribute, and then he's making. I think the stuff that we're seeing him doing is in his house where he's practicing. Because that's the part that burns down is his house with all that money that he made in there. Or I think maybe he's making his money to retire on, something like that. Like his perfect art stays with him, and he gives out the slightly flawed stuff. The road that they travel down is actually like a road out near Baker. It's kind of cool.
This scene here feels very much like Miami Vice almost.
This is very much of Miami Vice inspired. December 22nd.
December 22nd.
Jump ahead here because his partner has found the operations of the.
Does that mean that he was going to retire on Christmas Day?
Yes. Merry Christmas, I'm retired. Wouldn't that be a great Christmas present to you, right? Don't tell her you're going to retire. You wake up, I'm retired. Merry Christmas. She's like, God, why didn't you warn me? I have to my boyfriend not come over next week. Hey, any love?
It's LA. It's LA.
There's a lot of swingers. There's a lot of polyam out there. There's a lot of open relationships. Those are three very different things for people.
Too, yeah, a lot of narcissists.
A lot of narcissists. A lot of people are just not necessarily narcissists, but are just full of themselves. There's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of people, as someone who's worked in small end stuff. There are a lot of people who've been in nothing who are just full of themselves. They're not necessarily narcissists. That's a separate thing. They just think that they're better than they are at what they're doing, which isn't necessarily narcissism.
No, 2 days from retirement. No. Sorry, we just saw what happens to a cop who's 2 days from retirement in an 80s movie. Sorry.
Yep. Oh, and the brutal that brutal headshot. That was like this. They shoot him down, and because he's like snooping on the place. He starts to sneak around to try to probably confirm his suspicions, and they come around. And they shoot him around the side of the building. And
very violent film.
Blast him right in the fucking face.
Well, when you do see violence, it's
2 days later.
Jarring,
2 days later, the 24th.
2 days later, December 24th, Christmas Eve.
Supposed to be the last day of his work.
I mean,
and he's dead in the ditch for 2 days.
My point is clear here. It's definitely a Christmas.
Well, shut up. I go. All right. God.
I just want to make that clear for anybody who's watching this or listening to this and thinking, this guy's insane. No, it's a Christmas movie. Deal with
it. So, like, William Peterson was in, like, a few things. He was a small-time actor, Chicago theater-based guy. And, like, this movie made him. Like, because Friedkin only had $6 million to make this movie, which was actually low budget for a Hollywood movie at this point. And so he cast mostly unknown. So Willem Dafoe's the counterfeiter guy. William Peterson is who might remember from, I think, CSI, or is it the other one? One of those. No, it's the other one. That's not CSI, right? Yeah, CSI. William Peterson from CSI. It was because there's CSI and the other one with the guy with the red hair.
Check IMDb. I'll check IMDb.
What the Law and Order? That's the other thing I'm thinking of. Law and Order. CSI and Law and Order are the two big ones, right? And I'm pretty sure William Peterson
was. It'll be neither of them, I'm sure.
Oh, watch. It'd be great. Anyway, That's like what he's known for
It's
now.
CSI. It's
Yeah,
CSI.
but that's what he's known for now. But before that, hold on. Okay, so there's this washing machine. Okay. 1 second. I think it's a different washing machine. We're gonna go look right now. That's why I had the power to go back and look. Okay, see. Okay.
That one is yellow.
Oop, too far.
It's next to like a desk. This one is yellow. There is no desk.
Same handle. That's the same same brand washer at least. It's probably the same exact washer, but it's like nowhere
The
near.
intent is probably that it's the same washer.
Yeah, or the same make and model. Maybe it's a specific make and model that the counterfeiter likes. You know. Maybe it's like it's because he uses that specific make and model from that specific year or whatever that tells a specific heat. He's like a perfectionist, I gather, from Willem Dafoe's portrayal. So like everybody who's in this movie is pretty much unknown. Willem Dafoe had been probably the most veteran actor of like the main characters. And there's a bunch of like supporting characters. The guy who gets killed, he's like a huge character actor at this point. Played a lot of cops, a lot of soldiers. Gangsters. But yeah, like the fact that his friend has just been like dumped in a dumpster for 2 days, it's fucking brutal. Also,
that is what drives his motive.
What
for
the
revenge.
fuck is William Peterson wearing a leather jacket in fucking LA for? His pits have got to be swamps.
Good question.
His pits have got to be fucking swamps. Fucking swamp pit.
What I was going to say is that Friedkin actually said that he likes to bring in unknowns for roles like this because he wants, there's a certain expectation when you bring in like a really big name actor, especially at that time, that this person has plot armor. When you have a relatively unknown actor, that plot armor does not exist. No, but you don't know if this person's going to bite a bullet by the end of the film or not, because there's no way they're going to have in their contract or whatever that.
Right.
Nope. You can't kill me in this movie.
You can't kill me without my approval or something.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, the reason why they kept bringing up his retirement isn't just because they want us to feel for him. They want you to understand why William Peterson's out for revenge. His best friend, who's about his fucking father figure in the force, in the Secret Service, was just murdered right before he got to just retire and just be with his fucking wife and family and kids and all that shit, right? So now we know where his fucking hatred comes from, because we've got that central core. The first 15 minutes setting that up. I mean, that's the difference between this and a lot of revenge movies. Is this gives us this emotional center core before we ever get to the killing.
I'm also noticing how many shots in this movie are at the magic hour.
Yeah, he loves the magic hour. He does. He absolutely does. Yeah. So it uses it's direct. It's okay. I can't see his name on this phone. 1 second. To Live and Die in L.A. I'm not looking at the screen. I'm going to look at Robbie Mueller. He's the one who did the cinematography. He did Dead Man and Repo Man. A bunch of Jarmusch films. He did I think Mystery Train and Down by Law, Ghost Dog, Coughing Cigarettes. Like,
he works with Jarmusch a lot then.
Yeah, Alice in the Cities, which I actually have on my DVR for us to watch. But yeah, he's in a bunch of movies. Hey, The Believers, that was on my Discord, my DVR to watch, but I had to delete it to make room. Yeah, so he's a very good cinematographer, but he actually declined to work on the final action sequence, actually. And he was replaced by the the camera assistant, or the second unit cinematographer or whatever.
I wonder why he declined to work on that scene in particular.
That scene, the car chase, is the problem. He probably didn't feel comfortable doing a car chase. Look at his body of work. I'd say he's never had to deal with a car chase before. Probably didn't know how to shoot it properly. Meanwhile, second unit directors are oftentimes dealing with stunts. They oftentimes, on bigger productions, doing the stunts. I mean, the director's still there usually, but like, not in the same presence, or can be there, but not in the same presence because the second unit director generally directs that stuff. Depending on how important it is. I assume like the Russos probably directed every bit of like the Avengers films, an example, but who knows?
There's a scene here where John Turturro is getting chased through the airport.
Funny, Willem Friedkin insisted that every activity depicted in the movie be portrayed with extreme accuracy, except for the base jumping. This LAX. Oh, Lord, LAX. Oh, God, LAX. Why? Oh. No. What movie were we watching where it says London Airport on the grass, but it was actually Van Nuys? What movie was that? Sorry, I just thought of it.
I want to say it was this movie.
No, they don't go to London in this movie. Where the fuck movie was it?
But there were we were watching a movie.
Wasn't Casablanca, was it? Yeah,
it was.
I think it was Casablanca. Yeah, I think it was Casablanca. No, it was Lost World, wasn't it? Cause
it was more recent.
No, the movie, the new one we just watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Lost.
For 1960, we watched that together, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like a week. This happened like this last weekend. It was definitely
okay. It must have been Casablanca then. That's great. Yeah, it was Van Nuys Airport, but this is actually done at LAX. I've actually like been in this bathroom and been at that fucking terminal. I have PTSD about all this. I love this. Like, my favorite part about the sequence is like the sequence in the airport is Willem Peterson is chasing after a guy. Gets the guy. This random cop sees that he's chasing after a guy with a gun in his hand, so he chases after William Peterson's character, and then William Peterson's partner sees the cop chasing after William Peterson, and chases after the cop, so it's like this fucking... So they get to this bathroom, this intricate altercation, and like, it's like, freeze! No, you freeze! No, you freeze! I like it because that probably happens.
It's the pointing Spider-Man meme.
Yes, it is, but it's also it probably happens a lot actually when you're doing undercover work or stuff like that. You know, I can't imagine it doesn't.
For
sure. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Now this scene is kind of interesting because like, you've got Turturro's characters in prison now, and the bootlegger.
Willem Dafoe.
So yeah, Willem Dafoe came to see him and is brazenly talking about what they did together in one of these, conference rooms. And it's just like, that would never fly today because like they record all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They record all the shit that you're saying. So like immediately before you even left the prison, he would have been arrested.
If you wanted to have this conversation with you about, you'd have to go to the office with you. You talk to your attorney, and there's client attorney privilege, and they don't listen in. But you just have to, if you have someone in jail, they're about to confess some shit to you, for you that hand phone thing. In a little public booth, don't. They were gonna go back and review the tapes. They have nothing better to do. Trust me. They're fucking guards at a prison. Their options are torture you or listen to your shit so they can torture you.
Yeah. And like the guards are just like fucking 10 feet away, 6 to 10 feet away. Oh, they definitely can't hear you talking about the crimes you two definitely did together.
But not only that, there's a full recording of every conversation between. They make on those phones. Like,
that wouldn't happen today.
Which is why when they say Friedkin said we should portray everything with extreme accuracy, I'm like, well, you're fucking up, sir.
In this area, in that one.
And he had he had people there to tell him all this stuff, and it's just like, someone didn't say anything, or maybe they couldn't get you could just any room with some bars in the window, call it the client client attorney conference room, call it a day. No one would question it.
Speaking of attorneys, the main lawyer character in this movie is played by Dean Stockwell, who just sadly recently passed away.
He did, like literally 2 days after we watched it, 2 days before. Like I can't remember. We're literally right around when we watched this.
I think it was just before. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hopping ahead. There's a bar scene. You see, he's really manipulative and abusive with his girlfriend, like verbally manipulative with her. Because
He's
so she's
they're
an
like
informant for him, so he has power over
yeah.
her. So it's not really the most consensual of relationships. And she's
They are
clearly a
definitely
wounded
setting up
person.
that he's a flawed character, that he's not necessarily all
She
good just because he's a cop, you
she
know.
she is a person who doesn't understand her boundaries, looking for a dom who doesn't understand, and the dom that she has found does not understand boundaries either. So it's a very toxic relationship because it's very
Yeah.
dom sub. He just dictate. It's like that kind of thing, like where he's the one in control and she's, and which is fine if there's consent and understanding, but there can't be consent because he has power to send her to jail. So
We're talking about William Peterson's
yes,
character,
sorry, William Peterson's character
to be
specifically.
clear,
Thank you.
because it is juxtaposed with the relationship between uh,
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe's character and his girlfriend.
Yes, which is not healthy either.
Yes,
Just
but it's there's a juxtaposition there to show. It's literally you see William Peterson and his girlfriend, and then right afterwards you see Willem Dafoe and his girlfriend. So yeah.
yeah, Willem Dafoe's girlfriend's a stripper, which so we're like, but she's like, oh, she's like burlesque
Is it?
performer.
Is
No,
it she's? Yeah, I
it's
was gonna say
burlesque. Sorry,
performer.
my
Yeah.
apologies. It's burlesque actually. Very different thing. I deeply apologize. I'm not trying. I misspoke. She's a burlesque performer. She's got like face paint on, and she did like a whole dance number, and yeah. So this is like, it's showing that they don't have necessarily the most healthy relationship too. And it's actually interesting because they went from one scene with Willem Peterson and his girlfriend to immediately to Willem Dafoe and his girlfriend, to juxtaposition that they're opposite of each other, but they're still not healthy when they're like in the relationships. So
I appreciate far more showing the unhealthy relationship and just the behavior of William Peterson's character,
mhm.
because you know there the desire far too much in these cop movies is to make the cop out to be just a not necessarily a perfect hero, but really a hero,
paragon,
a standard hero, right? So
infallible
it's
paragon,
yes. So it's really nice and refreshing. Now, not to say that this didn't become a popular thing to show
Mm.
a flawed character as the quote unquote hero cop, but it is refreshing still. I think personally to me to see the flawed
Yeah.
character.
I think that kind of really, I mean, like that has, I mean, the flawed character cop probably stems all the way back to like noir films, right? But like had a resurgence in the '70s films with like the French Connection and all those movies where they have characters that are like Bob Doyle would be sued for fucking and taken off the force after like one incident in that movie nowadays. I mean, maybe not. E-cab. But yeah,
it's just the standard was to have them be the paragon, right?
right.
So,
Well, like I also like the Italian Polacchetti also. I misspoke, fucked that word up. But their cop action films are also full of like nobody's a good guy type people, because it's basically like noir goes into something else, goes into like spaghetti westerns, into these Polacchetti into the '70s, which spins out specifically from the French Connection type movies, that era. So it's like it's kind of interesting.
And I would argue honestly that
Got
that
a shot with the hands out the window when he's getting the water. That's such a great shot. Sorry.
The characterization of the cops in this movie, is probably far more brutal than in some ways than like the characterization of the cops in even Miami Vice, which was out before this, right? I would say, like, they do have flaws in Miami Vice, but they're not the same kind of flaws.
It's different. It's they're flawed humans. They're not flawed cops. And in these movies, they're flawed cops and flawed humans. Because the reality is, you can't be a flawed human without being a flawed cop. You can't do your job pristinely if you're a flawed person necessarily.
I
It's
heard
like,
a statistic, and this is like
just
something that
you're like distorted by the world you were raised in, so it's kind of hard. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
it was like the last time they actually did a study on this, which was a while ago now.
Of course.
Because of course they don't like to do studies on cops at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
Cops don't like
the
studies
last
on
time
them.
they did a study on this, the statistics came out that 40% just of the cops who self-reported, mind you, 40% of the cops that they had questioned about this had been had committed domestic abuse at some point.
Oh God, absolutely. It's Leo's.
And that was at that point.
I mean, like
self-reporting that they did this.
Self-reporting.
So,
Yes. Which means how many weren't self-reporting?
Oh, people who were brazenly open enough about it.
There's a shot here. So there's a shot here. She comes in to this guy's like apartment, and they start like heavily flirting, but the door's wide open, which is like, I don't know what Friedkin's like idea of like
LA,
no of like like I don't know what its intentions are, obviously, but it feels like the fact that this door is open, like pretty much speaking to the fact that there's nothing between them, just like there's no, like it's like as empty as the doorway. I don't know, it's hard to explain.
The framing is very interesting in this shot. For
yes,
sure.
she's below. She can't see it anymore. He's standing like framed off from like the hips up, and it's like I don't know. It's like the door is open. It feels like there's like the like. It's hard to explain, but it feels like it's like a representation of the relationship's emptiness, in a way, and then they both sink down into the darkness.
You can make an argument for that, yeah.
I just did make an argument for that, so there you go.
The what I like is that the framing of that, like, you'd think, well, they just set that that place up to look like that. No place actually looks like that. It's like, actually, no. Apartments in the 80s and 90s did look a lot like
that.
They had that kind of a, boxed out frame sometimes.
That I've lived in apartments that look almost exactly like that, so I don't. Welcome to California. California is like, what's the style of
architecture? It isn't like that anymore,
the question is this: what is the style? Like some cities have a style to them, right? Like their architecture looks. What is the style of LA? It doesn't matter what you answer, because the answer is there is none. It's literally every place is now in LA. So you see Spanish architecture, Victorian architecture, brutalism, all this right next to each other, because it's literally, Los Angeles is, I think, more of a cultural melting pot than New York in some ways. In other ways, New York is more of a cultural melting pot. It just depends on what aspects, we're looking at. But yeah, like, and then like Willem Dafoe comes in and shoots the guy because it's like, it was all set up, of course. But
oh yeah, true story about Willem Dafoe. His name is actually, in fact, William, technically, or it was before he changed it legally.
Obviously, yeah.
And he changed his name to Willem specifically so that he would show up on casting things before every other William.
What a smart ass motherfucker, dude. God damn.
Hey, it worked.
It did. Willem, and Willem's the name, technically.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is not.
I mean, you can make anything a name. That's my favorite part about names. You can just name people whatever when you have a kid. You can really fuck a kid up. They're like, hey, what's your name? My name's Egg Beater. Like, ha ha. Like, hey, hey, hey. Something really dumb like that. Oh, look, another door. That's open. I sense a running theme, a juxtaposition of scenes. But difference is they run out of that door instead of someone coming in the door.
I think the open door, at least in that first scene there.
Look, another open door.
Just like to show, hey, anybody can get in.
Yeah, probably.
It,
but like I said, I don't know what his intent was, but this is what I gather from it. That's why I phrased it like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump ahead a little bit.
That's a nice thing about criticism, is that if you can make a case for it, then it's entirely plausible.
Yep, and we'll probably say that.
It doesn't matter what the intent was.
Get used to it, folks.
What matters is, can you make the claim that this was the case? And if you can accurately with evidence from the film, then it counts.
We literally go over this point. And by the way, there's a cardboard cutout here in this movie, and it's from a movie called Electric Glide in Blue, which is another cop movie about revenge. So Electric Glide, that guy. You can't see it on stream, obviously, but the Electric Glide in Blue is about this guy who reports corruption, and then he's told to keep his mouth shut, and then they brutalize his wife, I think, and so he just goes on a fucking killing rampage. And it's actually a fun movie, but Scream Factory put it out a couple years ago, about 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. Don't know if it's still in print, but I have it. We're gonna watch it one day. You'll probably like it more than I did. But I think that that specific shot, that cardboard cutout, which I don't think exists in any other way any other way except in this movie. I mean, they made it for this movie, I think. I think it's trying to tell us that just like that character, this character is also kind of fighting corruption and where he's at. I don't know. I'm still paused. Anyway, so we're skipping ahead here.
Well, I mean, they're literally using him as target practice in this movie.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you know what? It's
almost
a commentary.
Foam darts on his head.
It's commentary on how they feel about people who snitch, basically. Because he's a cop who snitched on other cops. That was the whole plot of the movie. I mean, I don't say snitch, but
it really hasn't changed much either in
the
actual cop culture.
Absolutely not. It's not. In fact, it's gotten worse. I'd imagine.
Gotten
worse. Us went the same direction. It's great. Oh, look, another magic hour shot. As he drives over into San Diego, I think we were mentioning. I think it's San Diego, or it's part of Los Angeles. Sorry, part of Los Angeles.
You see, just during the magic hour, you see off in the distance just the silhouette of the bridge, and it's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Which is the bridge from earlier in the movie, I think.
I think it's the same bridge we see several times in the movie.
Yes. See, he drives up here in this scene, right? And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, the same exact shot happens. But it's different. And I think that second one is symbolic. And the first, obviously this one's not. But I think, because it's why does, we'll talk about it when we get there, but William Peterson literally drives up in the last fucking frames of this movie. Even though we know what happens to him. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, I think the interior is a set, if I remember correctly.
Well, makes sense.
Oh no, not this one. This one's actually a real house because they filmed. Because they go through I remember because they at the end they're filming a scene. It's out a window from this house, out, and they drive a car up. So. I think actually there's another house that's on set. I know Willem Dafoe's place is a set.
Oh, okay.
On a soundstage. I don't know if this was or not. I don't think this was. I mean, this could be they could be in a different part of completely different place here, and they just stitched the two things together. But yeah, this is why we can't show the movie on screen right there.
Yeah. This scene.
We're 45 minutes in. In case you're curious.
Shows more of the flawed relationship this person has, this cop.
We should probably explain. See, okay, chat. Sorry, chat and listeners. This is our first time doing this, and we are a little rusty. William Peterson has come to visit his girlfriend at his girlfriend's house and woken her up, and now he's kind of manipulating her. That's this whole scene, and then they're gonna fuck, and you're gonna see William Peterson's penis.
But who is manipulating who? I think that's kind of what they're trying to get at.
100%. Wait for it. You're going to see the shadow. Justin here is going to have to see the shadow of... Oh, no! His whole
you don't
fucking...
just see a shadow.
Well, it was a shadow and compression, and now I'm watching a Blu-ray rip of it, and I can see his whole fucking penis. Oh, Jesus. That was William Peterson's hog.
Oh, no.
I'm going to say that it's average. Ladies and men and others.
It's pretty mid.
The average penis size in America, United States. Sorry, average penis size in the United States is 5 3/4 at this point. And now it's 5 1/4. It's shrinking. Anyway, random trivia. I fucking remember. My favorite part, he's sitting here in the toilet drinking coffee with his pants pulled all the way up, and I have no idea why he's reading his newspaper and drinking coffee on the toilet.
Yeah, it does definitely seem like we needed a interesting place for them to be having a discussion.
It's like he needs to be doing anything like taking a shit. Well, why is he shitting with the door open? Because he feels comfortable? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bro, hold on.
The whole
no, it's like no. I'd be like,
kind of choreographed.
Like, bro, hold on, wait. You don't shit with the door open? Like, no one's in the house. You don't shit with the door open? What's wrong with you? You don't understand that sense of freedom. The sense of freedom only comes when you shit with the door open. It's the only kind of freedom that happens like that. There's no other freedom like it. Shitting with the door open, I mean. And you long to get in a relationship where you can feel comfortable enough to just take a dump. No, I'm kidding. No one should be taking a dump in front of each other.
I don't.
But I do take a shit with the door open when no one's home because who gives a shit? Because then the cat can just come and go. The variable she either wants in, I close the door, she wants out. She wants out. I open the door, she wants back in. So it's like I just leave the door open when no one's home.
I think this house is a set, actually. I mean, it looks very rear projection.
That other shot behind her was definitely not a rear projection. But I'm saying it could be completely different. The reverse could be a different location entirely. Like, this could be a set. That is a real thing. Because you can see cars moving back there, people walking around, and it doesn't look like a
rear projection.
It doesn't look like a rear projection. There's different grain structure to the rear projection, which is why rear projection looks a little off. It always does because you're just adding more grain to something that already has grain. Alright? And it's capturing grain at different points, so it looks more rough. Almost always. And it's just a byproduct of old school rear projection. If anything, they had green screen or blue screen windows, and they just matte shotted them in there, which is still a little rough at this point in time because it wasn't digitally done until late 90s? Mid 90s, maybe? Mid 90s if you had a higher budget, I imagine.
Chase music. There's actually, like, you don't really see chases last this long in movies.
Oh, yeah. We're about 48 minutes
in.
in.
Really long one.
And like they found this informant and they chase after him. The thing to chase you're thinking about is the end chase.
Well,
which is the French Connection in reverse. This is them just shaking down an informant.
Yeah. I'm talking about like just a foot chase though. Usually foot chases in movies even like this are not this long.
I guess so. There's also two different parts to it. Also, that POV, the camera shaking as he runs down the bridge is nauseating.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even. It's so hot. You can see the heat radiating off the ground. It's like, it's like no wonder his jacket's open because it's fucking 98 degrees. Why is everyone wearing jackets in Southern California? I never got that. Sorry.
I also would not be wearing jeans at that point. It was that freaking.
So this is not the actual artist who did all the art in the movie, even though it's implying that this is the artist who does it. Though it is a well-known artist, and they burnt a 1-to-1 copy of a very famous piece, apparently, of that artist at the beginning. So.
Oh.
God, I love that art though. Such interesting.
Yeah, really good art.
It's like such interesting variance between the pieces too. I think that one's a little racist though. I think that was people with like racist iconograph imagery of black people. I don't know. I'd have to look at it closer. Of course, it could in fact be a commentary about racism. I don't know. I'd have to see the art in a better light. But here's the location. This is the Willem Dafoe location, which is why I said I think what we're seeing is two different instances of him bootlegging money. One here and one there. That there was the past and here's the future. And at some point, maybe he's done it at both locations. I'm not sure, but so the guy in the basketball game, Steve James, he's American Ninja 2. He's awesome. I think he's also like Action Jackson and a few other notable film main characters. He's a much underrated character actor. Let me tell you, Steve James. I think he's passed now too.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong about that. I mean, I could just look him up real quick. Oh look, Steve James. Yeah, he died in '93. Oh yeah, he died early, but I forgot about that. Fuck. I'm now sad all over again.
Damn.
Anyway, sorry. Steve James was awesome. He could have had an amazing like career well into his 70s with the kind of like acting chops he has and that fucking handsome ass face of his. But yeah, he's Steve James is like a buddy of like Willem Dafoe's character, and they're like talking information and cops and stuff. Nothing too big here. Oh yeah, San Luis Obispo is where the prison is, by the way. One of the two notable things about San Luis Obispo is they have a prison and they're good vineyards. But yeah, I can't remember why is what's this actor's name? Help me out.
Turturro?
But yeah, why is John Turturro being targeted? I can't remember. Did he snitch on someone?
I think so. Yeah,
Or they're killing him so he can't snitch, or they're
or
trying
no,
to.
because he was being yeah, he was like. You remember the discussion that they had earlier, Willem Dafoe and his character, and he was like telling him like, "Get me out," and being very fucking like upfront about it, right?
Right,
Just
right.
like, indicating in some certain ways that like either get me out or I'm gonna fuck you over, kind of thing. And so
they put a hit on him.
yeah, so I put a hit on it to get rid of that problem.
Yeah, quote unquote problem. I mean, if you just didn't do illegal things, I mean, you wouldn't have to kill a witness, huh?
I love what happens here, and he gets gets him out of prison because like on some fucking stupid ass story that he tells him. It's like, wow.
Yep. He basically weasels his way out of prison.
Incompetent cop, just so incompetent.
I don't know if it's incompetent or gullible. I don't think gullibility is necessarily incompetent. I just think maybe he shouldn't be a detective. He should be someone's partner. Like, you're just the backup.
I think the idea is that like his drive to get this guy for revenge because of what happened to his partner is so deep. It runs.
He's tunnel vision. That's really what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Tunnel vision. That's what they're trying to get across here. It's like he's so focused on that he's not thinking about, oh, this is a stupid story I'm being told.
The biggest,
because like
look at the bigger picture.
What gets me is the name of the person that he says like he's related to that he needs to go see in the hospital isn't even his name.
I know.
And you can do a really quick fucking check just to see if he even knows anybody.
They do. Name. They check with the hospital at the end of the scene and find out that
what I'm saying is, before you even let him out of prison for that, you could do a really quick check to see if he knows anybody or is related to anybody with that last name.
So they checked later instead and found out they got duped. And it's like, yeah. See, this is the house. This is one of the houses that like I think is set inside, but not outside. I think that's like a bunch. Most of the houses I think are definitely sets because they talk about like that. Also, generally, doing sets and interiors or inside sound studios means you can like control the light completely. You can work at whatever hour. You can not have to worry about noise because you can control the noise. You don't have to worry about planes flying over, which I'm sure actually, with them filming that close to Port of Los Angeles, I'm sure they had to deal with all sorts of noises that they had to do retakes for and stuff. A boat decides to like do its horn way too loud or whatever. Right. Can't remember what happens here. Oh yeah, they get in a fight, and yeah,
He goes all American Cop on him. Yeah.
yeah. Steve James and his buddy try to kill Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe and his buddy shoot up his friends, and then yeah, after a fight. Wait, does I can't remember. Does he shoot his friend too? Is this the scene with his naked ass in front of the fire?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and then it goes directly into him sitting in front of the fire, burning his previous work. Probably because I think he didn't want to have it circulating because he had like better work out there, and he didn't want to.
I swear that there's a scene in The Aviator.
Yes.
That almost perfectly mirrors this one.
I swear to fuck, it's in The Aviator too. Yes, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like an intentional, like, you know, a paying homage to this scene in this movie or whatever. Paying homage to Friedkin, perhaps. But whatever the case, there's definitely a scene almost exactly like that in The Aviator.
They're both They're probably either both referencing the same movie or same like classic painting or something.
It's very possible.
I mean, a lot of those directors are referencing pieces of art, like physical pieces of art, not necessarily movies. More pop culture, postmodernism's reference in movies, right? So, but Scorsese and Friedkin are neither of those people are postmodernists as much as they are. Of movies, they like to usually it's either old Hollywood or paintings. That's the only thing they really reference. I've noticed. It's just what's his face? He's Days of Heaven. He's just like the same way. He's
Malick.
Terrence Malick. He's like referencing paintings and an old Hollywood movie interactions and things like that, but not like his contemporaries. Not like Quentin Tarantino would take that scene and do it over, right? And you know it's a reference to Two Live and Die in L.A. specifically, because he'll frame it the same way and light it the same way. He'll have different dialogue and a different purpose for the fire, because he's his own writer, but he's making references. And his references are other movies, almost exclusively, from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I mean, Tarantino's got a formula. It's a good formula, it works, but it's a formula nonetheless. Remember, isn't the scene where he's like being told to like turn his badge and shit?
No. He's asking to get this guy out of the Turturro's character. He's asking
right. To get him out of prison.
Yeah.
He's mad because the guy's like, nah.
He's being a big giant baby about it, yes. He didn't get his way.
He's very emotional, yeah. He stormed out and comes right back. And like it's just, yeah.
I'm sure this is supposed to be a moving scene. I'm sorry. I just can't help but say giant man baby. I just...
leather jacket.
In LA.
The old guy...
I get it, like, yeah, he's...
Go ahead.
He's obsessed with trying to get the guy who killed his partner. I get that. But at the same time, it's just like, he's throwing a hissy fit. I mean, come on. He's throwing a hissy fit.
The white guy, post-50s, wearing a leather jacket, screaming at management is the male version of a Karen.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, he's fucking... He's leather jacket dad, and he's terrible, and no one likes him. He's the obnoxious guy at their poker game, but it brings him around because he sucks at poker and he has a lot of money. That's that guy. Man, Don Turturro's so young in this fucking movie. Jesus Christ. Such a baby face. It's like he can't even grow that beard all the way. It's like he tried to, and Peterson's probably like, nah, take that off. Some people, when they grow the first few beards, it's just like pubes in your face. I mean, that was me for a long time. It's like, but Took a long time to get the luscious beard. The luscious beard's where it's at.
I love John Turturro.
He's such an amazing actor.
He is. He has a lot of range too. People don't realize it, but he got a lot of range.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he's an Academy Award-winning actor. I'm pretty sure. If he isn't, he should have gotten one by now. What's wrong with you people?
I think he won for Barton Fink, actually.
Oh fuck, that's such a good movie. Another movie I would love to rewatch at some point. Has that gotten a release here on Blu-ray, or is it still in Spain?
Do
I still have to...
saying Kino Lorber.
Oh,
Kino Lorber
okay. I'll have to pick that up because I really like that movie. Oh, and it's the part where Totoro they get to the hospital, and as they're gonna go to visit, Totoro turns around to beat the fuck out of Willem Peterson. I almost said Defoe, because he's fucking gullible in television and doesn't see the obvious assault coming. He's not a cop. He's not used to this shit. All right, we can skip ahead. His partner's like looking around, he goes to talk to the lawyer at the bar. Can't remember what they're talking about.
No Academy Award wins. I don't think. From what I'm seeing.
Damn, that fucker deserves Academy Award. He's so good.
But he did win the Cannes Film Festival. Cannes Film Festival. Cone Film Festival.
American.
For Best Actor in Barton Fink.
Fucking American cans.
A9's.
Oh Lord.
Was nominated for Quiz Show and The Night of.
I need to see Quiz Show actually. Quiz Show is on my list to see. I think
I was too young for Quiz Show.
So like Willem Peterson's partner is told to rein in Willem Peterson, you know. Oh, is this the first time? This is the first time the Willems are meeting together. And the scene after that.
It's funny, he's told to rein him in, right? And it's just like, well,
how?
You did the opposite of that, though. You just let him run loose, basically.
Yeah. I think it's because his new partner's like newer to the job, so I think he's just like, how do I get someone else to not be fucking crazy? Wait, does this happen right now? 48-minute mark? Or an hour in mark? The scene doesn't happen, right?
Not the one you're thinking of, no.
Okay.
It's just it happens in the same place.
Okay, well, oh, Jesus. Just more William Dafoe ass. I think I've seen that a few times, actually. Willem Dafoe is not shy about showing his butt on screen. But yeah, that's the first time they meet, and they don't realize that Willem Peter's looking for Willem Dafoe yet, so. The middle mark of the movie. Well, I mean, there's like 48 minutes left. Let's see here. They're doing workout scene. They're like workout buddies. It's just hilarious considering one's hunting the other, right?
Yep. They actually do a pretty damn good job of working the guy over and convincing him that they are legitimately looking for him to, commit a crime for them.
Right.
But then in the process of it all, the only way they can actually, get him to commit the crime is by, spoiler alert, by committing a crime themselves.
302.5. What is this?
Ah, yes, the trope here. They have the classic trope of the the hard ass
sergeant
chief.
Chief, yeah. He's not yelling enraged though, and turn in your badge and your gun.
He's being more of like the dweeb chief.
Well, it's going for accuracy, right? Like that is the accurate part where it's rarely the yelly boss. It's like It's just the guy's like, hey, the rule book's right here. And you're like, motherfucker. I'm trying to capture like bad guys. Who gives a shit? But the rules are there for a reason, obviously.
To be broken.
All right, let's see here. Jump ahead a bit. There's a lot of like talky scenes here.
Yes. They're arguing over whether or not to
track him and get him arrested or just kill him. Well, Peterson, of course, just wants to blow his brains out because he wants revenge.
They're arguing over how to get the money, basically, for the thing. For the crime. More amazing shots.
And then he goes into a topless bar that doesn't exist anymore.
But this topless bar, I believe, is referenced in a Grand Theft Auto game.
It is. And it's also referenced in, pretty sure it's referenced in the Halloween, in Rob Zombie's Halloween. While the Red Rabbit Lounge is referenced to a matchbook from the first movie, it's, I think, like... I think that the way the place looks, like, lit-wise, is because of this movie.
Ooh.
I feel like...
Green and red light, you know.
Oh, yes, more with green and red light. Festive. Oh, my God. I think it's actually... The thing is, I think it is, like, the day... I think it's after Christmas. I think it's the point. It's Christmas.
It's in, like, January at this point.
Yeah. But, yeah, red and green lighting just all over the place. There's also some bisexual lighting in the background for the stripper. Because that's blue and pink.
Well, it was the 80s.
It's just there's a nice layered effect here. The background is two different colors. Oh, yeah. Foreground is two different colors. And everything's got like its own color splash. It's actually really incredible looking. Also, it's probably the cinematographer's like, holy shit, we're in a strip club. I can use my green and red gels. There's not a lot of sources for these things in natural lighting, so the reds are usually like I can use my blue gels and my pink gels, and you can use your fucking neon gels for once. That's why I love Dario Argento films, because his cinematographer just did not give any fucks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, why is there pink lighting in the wall? Because it looks fucking good. That's it. There's no fucking motivation.
Fucking amazing.
Most of the time, cinematographers are taught to be like to motivate your lighting, because it's like, if it wasn't motivated, you wouldn't have like it would kind of break the seamlessness of the movie, right? Like it takes you out of it. Take you out of it.
I'm okay with unrealistic lighting if it's actually like telling part of the story.
Correct.
Of the movie, like in Suspiria, for example.
Oh yeah, of course. That's the whole dream logic in that movie too. So it's like it makes sense. But, like, it's hard to put it in a realistic movie with, like, a guy who's just chasing people around in fucking tobacco filter. The tobacco filter.
They're trying to be realistic as possible in this movie, so it's like...
A shot, not at magic hour?
Oh
I'm shocked. I bet you it's stock footage of a train, too. That's probably why. I mean, stock footage is not uncommon for things like that. Stock footage being... They had a guy... in 1968 or whatever, this color camera, whatever it was, or maybe it's 71 or 75.
It's Miller time.
And he's filming every train that goes by, and it's like 5 hours of footage or whatever. And that guy got paid, but like that's the stock footage. That the studio's the only one who has that, right? So it's not like, and they mark which movies get used and which footage and at what time codes, and so there's not usually a lot of recycling of the footage because of that kind of thing. But they have thousands and thousands and thousands of reels of stock footage like that in their archives. Honestly, as like a weird, like movie collector / person who adores the way films are made, I would love to like a collection of just B stock footage that was used in movies. Just a Blu-ray of like 5 hours of here's some B-roll footage that you'll never see. Some stock footage you'll never see in any other place except as randomly cut into movies, and here it is. Just because I think it'd just be neat. I mean, they would never do that because people would just use that then for their student projects.
This scene here, we're watching the scene where
abducts
he abducts the guy
Which guy?
The Ling guy, Thomas Ling, I think is
Thomas
the
Lane.
guy's
Okay.
technically his name, but it's not really his name because we find out later he's not who he says he is. But well, again, spoiler alert: he is actually an undercover cop,
We don't have
and
to
you would think
spoiler.
that at some point, like, I don't know, like, I feel like this could have been fucking avoided. Like, you've got a bunch of undercover cops in a car together.
Finding
Here,
this
right?
actor. It's a notable Japanese actor, I think. Japanese or Korean? I don't. Asian actor, I should say. Since I don't know his fucking nationality, his genetics, or whatever.
Well, anyways,
Sorry. Michael Chong is his name. I guess it's Chinese. My
you
apologies.
see this guy. Ah, fuck's sake! I was on something and you fucking.
Want me to rewind it to help your mind?
No, it's not gonna help.
Okay. Man, he's like a 70s zoot suit shit going on.
My point was like that. You would think that three undercover cops in a car at this point, like at some point, they would have an opportunity to explain something or talk to each other, and something would get across that, like, hey, I'm an undercover cop too.
Why would you say that? What if they don't know each other? So like he thinks they're being directed by maybe potentially mob hitmen or someone trying to steal his shit.
But when
like,
they're talking to each other, he might at some point get the message that they are undercover cops. You would just, I just feel like you'd think that at some point there, it just seems to me like
look at that. Vote no on Brown, which is Governor Brown, who was the governor at the time. Anyway, thought that was a neat little. I wonder if that's purposeful commentary by someone on set, or if it's just.
you'd think
it
that
might
you would
just
get
be
the
graffiti that was
opportunity at some point to. I don't know. Something about this feels like it isn't what would actually happen, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, he's afraid they're pretending to be cops, right? Like he's not for sure what the deal is, and now he's just getting robbed for his money. Oh, you have money. Gimme. Yeah. Where are we at?
We are just before the major chase scene, which Friedkin said
right.
he would not do another chase scene like this, like in French Connection, unless it was bigger than French Connection.
It was different than French Connection because in like French Connection, it's Pop Idola chasing bad guys, and this one's bad guys chasing the cops. He reversed it, so it was like a different vibe.
Kind of, but they're not really bad guys, as we come to find out.
But that's the
Not all of them.
but they're the heels in the match, right? As this is a wrestling match that spontaneously happens, they're the heels regardless of who is actually the heels, right? That's a weird analogy, but whatever, it fucking works. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do, brother?
It's a quick and easy way of making your point pretty damn clear.
Yep. Oh, you can tell the subtitles are done in English because it said tires with a Y. Sorry. I noticed that shit. His partner's freaking out. Peterson's like, I don't know what's going on because they killed the guy. So it's like, and did they find he's a cop after that?
Yes.
The other guys
not
killed
at
him
this point,
in front of them. That's what happened.
Eventually, they find out that he was a cop. Yes.
Sorry, they got ambushed by some people, and the undercover cop got killed, and now they are running. Apparently,
they overhear it on a news broadcast about it.
So,
yeah,
the guy who Pacau, I can't say his last name. His name is. I'll look at it again. If I look at it, Pancal. See, I can't remember it. Pancal, the guy, his partner. If he sat down years later with a cop, and the cop was like, "That's the freak out in the backseat," was not uncommon at all. Actually, some people just don't have the fucking wiring to do a car chase. It's very, especially as a passenger. As a driver, you feel in control, he said, so you get like a different kind of adrenaline rush. But sometimes you just freak out in the background. So, him freaking out in the background and back seat of this, because he's like newer, higher, is very accurate. So, because it's probably his first chase scene first chase as a cop. And normally they're chasing, but now they're the threat. If they get caught, they're dead. So it's a little different. It's probably a lot less freaky to chase after. And and you're just trying to catch a guy. It's probably still intense, but. This chase scene is incredible, by the way. Just so well shot. Friedkin remarked that it's even more dangerous than the French Connection. And there's a moment here I fucking absolutely hate where the flow of traffic is completely reversed, and Friedkin admits he did it on purpose to increase the tension.
Really?
Yes. And I think it's a bad choice, because it takes me completely out of the scene. Because it's completely illogical. They're not in fucking England. It's not mirrored. They literally, obviously, shut down the freeway and then had stunt cars going in reverse direction on the wrong side. It was so weird. It's so weird. I
remember you noting that when we were watching it.
I literally said it. I was like,
I
what the
didn't
fuck?
notice it at the time. Because there's just so much frantic action going on.
Most people don't.
Audiences are not going to notice.
Exactly. My brain just screamed, "That's bullshit!"
This is LA, goddammit.
No, it's America, goddammit. No one drives that direction. I think we're coming up to that scene. Oh yeah, the whole the wash. We call it the wash. The canals of LA. The LA River is actually what it is.
Yeah.
Before we had global warming.
Still on maps, they show like a blue line. It's like,
yep.
There's barely any fucking water. Come on.
The only time there's water is when there's torrential rains every few years, and then it floods. That's the funny part, because there's not adequate drainage for a flood-like level. So then, you get these bridges where there's 4 feet of standing water, and you just gotta drive your car across it and not stop, because otherwise your car will stall. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you just can't drive. You have to go at the same speed, constant speed. You can't shift, because literally decreasing at any point in time, there's a suck. The water goes into the engine and it stalls out. You just gotta go. I've been in too many situations like that. Can you tell? I love how just everybody in the woodwork has come out with machine guns to shoot at them. There's just random people in the canals that keep showing up. New cars are showing up.
Guys, they're all over the place. Why are they chasing us so much?
Because they're cops.
They're almost chasing you like they're cops or something like
that. Right? Yeah. Exactly. They're coordinated. But there just wouldn't be a random undercover cop on the machine gun in the canals. They'd be at some point weird. They'd be chased by actual cops, and they'd be like, "Oh, look at the sirens, it's cops." But maybe they're trying to protect the undercover aspect of it. It's hard to say. Oh, look, random guy. What is this? The end of They Live? It's so weird. It's another one of those extreme realism, you say.
Yeah.
The cars being called in as backup makes sense, right? That totally makes sense. You could call. A lot of times, gangsters even and police have car phones, right? And so, I feel like Peterson has trained himself to not be afraid. I think that was the point of his base jumping at the beginning, and it's showing that right here.
Yeah, they just show a little clip of him base jumping
in the middle of
quote-unquote base jumping.
Yes, in the middle of this chase sequence. Man, I need to eat food. Fuck.
He lives for the adrenaline and. And then they show the guy, the thought process of the guy in the back seat.
Just freaky. Has a fucking panic attack. He's having a panic attack. He's literally having a full-blown fucking freak-out meltdown. I've been there 1,000 times.
Wrong way. Do not enter.
Yeah, but look. Look at the freeway. Look at the layout of the cars.
Wait for it, wait for it.
Wait for it, it's coming up.
Honestly,
I've been on that
I
fucking
think
off-ramp.
this is a fucking
Look!
crazy.
Look! Look! It's reverse!
Yeah,
And it's not reverse. They just literally put the flow reverse on the
yeah.
freeway for some reason.
Um,
So,
this is a very crazy chase scene.
mm-hmm.
In many ways, it does one up the scene in the French Connection, but I still
Reverse
prefer the
freeway.
French Connection. I still prefer the French Connection. That one will like never leave my mind. That chase sequence.
Man, there's so many.
Fucking
What's funny is
brilliant.
I like that. And yeah, chase sequence. I was like, oh, it's the greatest ever. I'm like, it's not the greatest ever anymore. There's like at least a dozen chases that probably top that. You know.
Oh yeah,
But
like there's the one in Bullet, which is I would say
very
in
good.
some ways better, but
I'd agree.
there's something very memorable about the French Connection.
That's because the entire thing's incredibly dangerous on one wide streets without any blocking of the streets. That was why that feels so special, in my opinion.
And wasn't it correct in that movie as well? They didn't actually. A lot of the people who uh, didn't know that was going on, that they were shooting a movie. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't inform people.
No, they just drove down the fucking wild street. Something you could never get away with in the 80s or later. Where are we at here? We got 20 minutes left, roughly. Some random people walking down the street doing music. So
Yep.
weird. So weird.
Just be like, well, they're out of danger now. And hey, it's the magic hour again. What do you know? What do you know?
Constantly seeing cranes in the background. He's always over in these weird industrial areas.
This guy just had a bad day, and it's about to get worse, basically.
Mm-hmm.
As he's about to find out. And I think it's like the next day or something they find out. But
When Peterson ends up at home, has more abusive nonsense with his girlfriend. Definitely sexually assaults her.
yes, this scene, like, it just shows he's not a great guy.
Oh, he's never been a great guy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's seriously one of, like, he's a really
Here it
fucked
is
up
where they
man.
find out that the guy was actually a
Mm-hmm.
undercover cop.
Like, uh-oh. William Peterson's like, oh, shit.
Like, this is the level to which you went just to get
Yep.
revenge.
Yep. That's the whole point. Like, he's sitting here thinking, like, wow, wait a minute. I just killed a cop. I mean,
And of course, his attitude after this is, well,
FBI
I've gone
agent,
too
too.
far now. I have to do it. I have to go through with it because, yeah, red lighting here, of course. Which actually, that's also accurate because they're in the fire escape.
those are usually just regularly lit. It's just an
Well, I've
excuse.
been in fire. Well, no, I've been in fire escapes where they just have red lighting. It's
Weird.
not like, yeah.
I mean, red lighting gives you better low light vision. That's why. True fact.
But it's like it's a convenient excuse for sure, but it's accurate.
Him and his partner have a huge row in the stairway, and they kind of split up. Peterson's off on his own right now.
Yeah, because William Peterson is the one who's just like, well, now we have to go through this, and he's like, the fuck are you talking about? His partner like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, this has gone way too fucking far. Trying to speak some sense to him.
Peterson ends up in Willem Dafoe's girlfriend's burlesque backstage area.
He's just completely obsessed at this point with getting revenge.
like his girlfriend's getting like a massage from another girl. It's kind of implied that they're all fucking. It's kind of cool. Like I said, there's a lot of polyamory and open relationships and swingers in LA. There's a lot of beautiful people. A lot of people like to fuck, you know? Let's see here. What do we got? Okay. He's having an altercation, verbal altercation. Peterson is having a verbal altercation with Willem Dafoe here in the backstage. And then, is this where he gets his thing revoked? Did he have to turn his badge in at some point? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I do know that he's asking Dean Stockwell's advice, the attorney,
Yeah.
about what to do, because
And
I think partially it's because he wants to get it off his chest. And he knows the only person he could be able to talk to and get it off his chest without going to prison immediately would be an attorney.
Mhm.
Like, you can't talk to anybody else about this. You've got the attorney-client privilege, so.
And then we see we see Willem Peterson's sidekicks, partners, willingness to even go to. He mentioned he's willing to go to jail to help his partner. Like, he couldn't just let his partner just run off and get himself killed.
Yeah, like, this guy is on a collision course with fucking death, right?
Yeah.
I feel like what
He's
movie's
wearing
trying to
increasingly
tell us.
darker clothes. Now he's all in black. As the film goes on,
Yeah.
he started with more brighter colors and slowly got into, like, he went to browns, red or maroon maybe, and now he's in black, all black. He shows up. I think it's Willem Dafoe's girlfriend's apartment.
No, it's John Turturro.
John
That
Turturro's
scene.
apartment. Right. Sorry, that scene. Yes. Where John Turturro. I love the shot where, like, so the shot. It's down the hallway on the right side and in the kitchen on the left side, because that's how apartments are made in California. And Turturro's walking down the hallway and stops, and he's just listening intently. And he goes into the side room, which is probably a bathroom, I think.
It comes
And
out.
it comes out with a fucking gun.
It's one of those classic, like, what the audience knows that the character on the side here doesn't know.
Future reference: if you want to walk quietly on carpet, don't wear shoes. Oh, that fucking kick to the balls looks so real. I wouldn't be shocked if he actually did get kicked. Like, Peterson, like, jumps him as he comes around the corner and gets kicked in the fucking nuts. It's really brutal. I mean, like you said, Peterson was looking for realism, and the violence is all very, very, not graphic. That's not the word. Visceral. It's visceral action because it feels pretty real. What does he do in this scene? Oh yeah, he just takes him back, I guess. And Chance is like chilling with his girlfriend. His partner calls, and let's see here. They're having like juxtaposition because then like Willem Dafoe's talking to his girlfriend. They're talking about a similar thing, and
This is one of those mirror shots. That go back to that shot with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, okay, so that's right. The bathroom scene when having a discussion,
yeah.
there's like William Dafoe's talking, his girlfriend's sitting there with a small mirror. There's a mirror to his left that wraps around. There is a mirror to his right. And so there's like 3 mirrors going on, and you can't see the camera in any of them.
Very well done shot.
It's incredible. It's so hard to film in front of a mirror.
Yeah, it's almost like, look what I can do.
Yes. And I appreciate that kind of bravado.
Yes.
As someone who loves mirror, I love.
Works with the guy so damn much.
You love hall shots. I love mirror shots. I love doorway shots, which is similar, I guess. But like in that scene in How the West Was Won, not How the West Was Won. Sorry, wrong movie. What's the Leone one that's not part of the Dollar Shirley fucking? what was that movie? Once Upon a Time in the West. There's like a shot at the very beginning where the guy's like silhouetted in the doorway. I'm like, ugh, I'll walk.
Yes.
I jizz a billion buckets when that
Classic
happens.
shot. Yeah.
I jizz a billion buckets. Oh yeah, look. The
Beautiful.
insinuation is pretty much confirmed as like her friend is now laying around in lingerie in their apartment and stuff. So looks like they're gonna fuck. That's the whole. It's implying they're all gonna fuck.
That's the interesting thing about Willem Dafoe's character is that he isn't really very abusive to his partner.
He's just a little. He's manipulative, but
yeah, in comparison to William Peterson, who is abusive.
I would say he's capricious, and that probably gives his girlfriend lots of bad vibes. Like she probably feels fucking like bad thoughts. She probably has like filled bad thoughts sometimes after he leaves. I'm sure he's not necessarily intending to. He's just in a weird place with these awful people in the underworld, and most of those people aren't necessarily nice guys. So, and if you spend too much time around evil, you become evil yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It slowly corrupts you. That's the whole point about the dark side. Oh, are we getting to that scene? I think we're getting to that scene finally.
Yeah.
So they're having an argument, and then they're gonna go. They're at the gym after hours, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And because Willem Dafoe's there, and oh no, this is something else. This is at his house. It's coming up though. There is a scene in the that we're talking about. I think we're just a few minutes out.
Look at the framing. Sorry.
They finally bring some money to Willem Dafoe. They're trying to like hire him because they're still trying to be the undercover guys. And I don't think at any point in time Willem Dafoe trusts him fully.
No, what gets me about that? This is the.
Oh no, there's an okay. It is a locker room. It's lockers, and that is a weird locker room with all those windows. Who the fuck's gonna have a locker room with all those windows? Hold on, let's go back.
Excuse to put
let's scroll back.
In the locker room.
Right, we're not crazy. Yeah, there's this. Do they go downstairs? Maybe it's the manager's office. And maybe this is downstairs a few minutes later, okay? So they're downstairs out of the manager's office. Maybe it's not his house. It's the manager's office then. And now they're...
Well, they do establish earlier that the guy he works with, the guy who initially shot his first partner early in the film, 2 days from retirement guy, that guy is like the owner of this establishment.
Yes. So now they're in the locker room, and they're having a talk. It's a very intense talk. And you can tell it feels dangerous. Like the way it's shot, the way people are looking like predatorily, like predators at people, it feels very dangerous. Like some shit could go down. And William Peterson's like walking this fine line because he wants shit to go down, but also, kind of outnumbered 2-1 right now. Or no, it's 2-2. Sorry.
What I note, what makes me curious about this whole fucking scene, the sequence, is that like at this point it's like you wouldn't necessarily get the guy even though you had the money and you went through with the whole thing. It's like the way you got the money would like negate anything that you could bring up in charges against this guy, because the money you used in order to get the guy was dirty money that was gained by getting a cop killed. So
yes,
like legally speaking, I would think that this wouldn't, unless you're planning to kill the guy right now, that there's no point of even being here and doing this.
Now the pull guns, right? We're like Willem Dafoe puts his hands behind his back. He just gives up, right? And fucking okay. So full stop. It's really fucking cold ass shit. Is Willem Peterson takes one of the fucking poker chips and puts it in Willem Dafoe's mouth, and says, "You remember this guy, the guy who got killed at the beginning, 2 days before retirement?" And then shotgun guy is pointing at his partner, and Willem Peterson whips around to shoot his gun and gets fucking killed. Our main character just gets fucking killed before the end of the fucking movie. 15 minutes before the end of the movie, this motherfucker gets fucking shot in the head with a supposed shotgun, though his head is way more intact than a point-blank shot.
You could not do that if it was a fucking major Hollywood actor. You
No,
know?
if this was a big-budget film, they would never allow the main character to get killed. a full 10 to 15 minutes for the end of the movie. I mean, like, the thing about this movie is, as we're just going to kind of skip through here, because that was the most important part, like, we're just going to talk about the end. They're chasing, like, the partner chases him, and doesn't Willem Dafoe get away? I feel like Willem Dafoe gets away.
Not entirely, no.
Oh, right. No, he gets away at that point, goes back to his warehouse, and burns the motherfucker down. I guess they actually use fire to actually burn the fake money, what they thought was all the fake money at this point.
And that's what I was talking about at the very beginning of the movie, is he's burning a image of himself.
Yes.
In the painting, right?
It's foretelling.
It's foretelling of this scene here.
Such a good plant and payoff. It's Chekhov's flaming painting. Chekhov's fiery portrait. But yeah.
Basically, he's showing you he has no problem setting fire to his own artwork.
He literally, like,
that's what he's doing here.
Exactly. He literally, it's showing that he's willing to burn. He's just then can get caught. So it's like he's sitting down in the middle of this burning building. The sidekick comes in to try to arrest him, and yeah. There's altercation. Willem Dafoe gets like knocked down, and the cop and his partner almost shoots him here. Now he's staring at the fire, and he's like overwhelmed. He's like having like such great acting, by the way. Yeah. Oh, and then he gets fucking belted because he's had to close his eyes with a piece of wood, and then gets beaten to death by Willem Dafoe. I don't think actually is he gets and then covered in fucking paper so that he will it's actually shredded money. It's the shredded bootleg money.
Yeah.
That they shredded, so he will catch on fire and die. But then he sits the fuck up because you think he's not actually dead. Willem Dafoe, pop 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 pop, dead. Whoa, that was an interesting shot. Wait, hold on. Here's what happens. I'm going to show you this. I rolled backwards. Willem Dafoe catches on fire. Right there. You see that flash? Mm-hmm. There's a part where he's like, bah, 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 and the flash, that was literally the gunshot flare overexposing the last frame, and Willem freaking choosing to use that as the frame to cut on.
Nice.
It's incredible. It's an interesting artistic choice. And it almost shows like this, that single frame shows a shift in dynamic in this character, in the sidekick. He's now fully become Chance. He's now fully become William Friedkin's character. He has been corrupted because he did everything that Chance would have done. By the way, when I first came out, one of my first names was Chance. And so the fact that this character's name is Chance is pretty cool. Even though it's a dude.
Hey.
I don't know, it's just cool. So rare to have it in movies. I just wish they'd put in more girls, because women or non-binaries, because they're always just fucking dudes. So yeah, then after all that burning, like a psychic goes to visit the girlfriend, and he's just like, "You're my girl now." And then my favorite part of this movie is, we know William Peterson's dead. He took a shotgun shell to the head, right? They start kissing. It's very, very sexual assaulty. And then William Peterson is going to drive up in his Jeep in the background, like that earlier shot. Watch.
Can you take us to that scene?
I will take us to that part. Here he goes. Comes in. Chance was my partner, you know. He has a Ben Stiller look to his face right now. Wait, we're gonna go. So right here, he's wearing the same kind of jacket as Chance's at this point, leather jacket, popped collar, right? Like he's literally inhabited Chance's own clothes, his mindset. Now he's taking his girl. He's become Chance. All right.
And she feels like she's trapped in this.
She's
cycle.
trapped, and here comes Chance driving up, even though he's definitely dead. Because I think this is her hope that he will come and save her, but he's never gonna save her because he's dead, and she's still trapped. And I think that fence is symbolic that he can't come and save her. It's going to stop. There's a barrier. And that's To Live and Die in L.A. It's an incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, I implore you to fucking watch it. It is so good. I have to.
What if we watch it on again? What's it on right now?
Good question. I gotta pull up Twitch real quick. 1 second. No, not sound. Following. Live. Where's she at? I'm gonna raid a friend, so. Why is there sound? I muted it, motherfuck. Anyway. Where's
TCM? TCM.
Oh yeah, it's right. I recorded off TCM. That's what happened. Turner Classic Movies. It is available to stream on DirecTV, Spectrum, and Watch TCM. So if you got any of those, you might have. Especially if you have Spectrum or DirecTV, you have the ability to watch this movie. It is for free. That was streaming with ads for one of them. But yeah, this is William Friedkin's. I think one of William Friedkin's best movies. Like really, the transference of the two characters, the whole like. The whole like the spiral of this character. Excuse me, and how he sucks this person and this good character. He starts out as a good man, and by the end of the movie, he is just as evil and cruel as Chance is, just as abusive, and he's sexually assaulting people once again because he has power over people that he shouldn't be using to have sex. It's like you don't fuck your boss for a reason because there's power. If you break up with them, he's gonna fire you. Like it's, like, you know what I mean? Like. Among other things, he'll let you get away with things and whatever. They'll get you I shouldn't specifically gender, but like that's basically ultimately this movie is about transference. It's interesting, and I give it an 8. Oh God, you know what? I'm up in my scores. It's a 9 out of 10.
I say 8 because like there are some issues in terms of like he's trying to make it as realistic and believable as possible. And he does a good job of it, but it's like at the same time there are some elements that he kind of messed up on. So it's like it's not perfect, but it's great. It's fucking fantastic. I wouldn't say it's better than French Connection in my opinion, but it's
not even close.
Second next to it.
I don't think it's that close. I think French Connection is like a whole other tier of movie just because of the era it was made in, what they got away with. They got away with a lot in this movie apparently, but it wasn't. And it was more dangerous because of how elaborate the stunts were, right? Not because it was filmed without permission or anything like like French Connection. But French Connection and this make a very good double bill.
I will say this definitely does have a new Hollywood element to it. It feels very new Hollywood, which
Freaking came out of the new Hollywood system, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. It was a movement that came out in the late 60s through the mid 70s.
But this is 1985. But this is definitely in the spirit.
But Friedkin came from the new Hollywood era, so he was a new Hollywood director making a new Hollywood movie in the 80s.
Probably because
that's what this is. It's really good.
He wanted probably Final Cut, and they're like, well, we were only going to give you this much then. And he's like, fuck it, I'll make the movie for that much. And that's the way it goes.
Probably.
You know? So, yeah, sorry for the clunkiness of the first episode. We'll get better with these spotlight episodes as time goes on. I have no doubt of that. It also took about an hour longer than I intended because we got in the weeds about some of the details, which I'm pretty sure our listeners will like a lot. Though to be fair, the actual final episode, when I finally pay someone to edit it, because I ain't going to fucking edit it, will only be 30 minutes because you cut out all the pre-ramble and stuff and just go right into the movie. So yeah, thank you for joining us. I would like to raid a friend who I just made. She's very cool. It's totally, completely opposite what we're doing here. But if I go here, type raid channel, we will see. Well, in 2 weeks we'll be doing another spotlight episode on a Korean film with a guest. We'll have a guest. Our very first guest on Couch Tomatoes. Until then, we will see you next time, and bye.
Ceiling.
Raid in seconds.
We have to wait for the raid thing to go down.
Raid now.